Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Real Marketing, the only marketing firm recommended exclusively by the Institute. Real Marketing utilizes over 25 years of expertise, and their products are built and customized for you to dominate any neighborhood, anywhere. Go to realmarketingforyou.com. That's realmarketing, the number 4, you.com. Also, look for past A State of Mind episodes with CEO David Collins as our guest. Yali, welcome to the podcast.
Well, it is so good to be here. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation. I'm honored to be here.
Excellent. But let's give our audience a little more information about where you are geographically. Tell us about your location in Costa Rica and what makes it unique compared to other parts of the country.
Okay, first of all, a little geographical location because we are sometimes confused with Puerto Rico. So we are north of Panama and south of Nicaragua, right in the middle of the continent, in the middle of between South America and North America, and we're in the middle of Central America. So we're in a very strategic location in the planet, actually, and we are located in the Central Valley, which is the heart of the country. This is where the capital city, San Jose, is located.
Excellent. And many people are familiar with the coastal areas, both the West Coast and the East Coast. Tell us a little bit about the nature of the Central Valley, as you say, and what makes the city different than those coastal locations.
Okay, I think the most important asset of the Central Valley is that it is surrounded by beautiful mountains all around, volcanoes, mountains. So the beauty of nature of the Central Valley is incomparable. We have a beautiful weather, which is normally in the spring, like a spring in the States. So that's why they call it the Thermal Spring in the Central Valley. But the other aspect is that all kinds of first-class services are readily available in the Central Valley. First-class hotels, first-class restaurants, boutiques, the International Airport, Juan Santa Maria, everything is readily at hand. The hospitals, first-class hospitals, and the best neighborhoods of the country are located in the Central Valley, and the best schools, and all of the multinational companies, the most important multinational companies, embassies, are located in the Central Valley of the country.
Oh, I think that's very helpful because it's really much more of a metropolitan area than most people associate with Costa Rica.
It is, exactly.
Excellent. And so what kind of properties do you specialize in?
Well, basically, we are in the high end of the luxury market. Our standard is 500,000 and above. We have over right now in our database over 400 listings in the luxury market, and just in the $1 million range, we have over 100 right now. 100 listings. So and the market has been incredibly good over the past year. I mean, the first year of pandemic was very slow. Everything went off, like shutting off the market. And then the last year and the coming of this year has been surprisingly good because many people are wanting to come to live in Costa Rica.
Excellent. And now the team that you lead, tell us about the makeup of your brokerage and how large is your team?
Well, it was very difficult for Andrea and for me to start bringing agents into the company because we had been a very small boutique firm, highly personalized. And then we started bringing some very highly professionalized agents, I will say, in their areas of expertise. Right now, we have 8 agents. And we are going to grow to 10 to 12 this year because of the demand that we are having. And we have, they are multilingual. They are people who can work with any sphere in terms of the riches, the top multinational executives, and families who come to move to Costa Rica. So they are very used to working with different nationalities and personalities.
One question that comes to mind when we're talking about geography, how far of an area do you work in? You'd be focused in kilometers, yes.
Yes.
How far do you go from the core of your practice?
It is a very interesting question, actually, because depending on the needs of the buyer, since our country is so tiny, our country is smaller than West Virginia. So depending on the demands of the client and the requirements, we will move from coast to coast, even with the client, in order to give them the best service. For example, one time I started with a couple that lived in Tampa. I started with them in Manuel Antonio, which is in the south coast of the country. All of our showings started there, and they were completely focused on buying a property on the coast. And then we ended up in the Central Valley. So we looked for properties all over the coast, came to the Central Valley, and they fell in love with a beautiful house in the hills of San Antonio of Escazú. And they have been living there for about 5 years, and they're very happy here. So it is very flexible. We just adapt to the needs of the client.
Excellent, and that sounds an awful lot like the experience that we have with many buyers, regardless of where they are. That they end up finding something a little different than what they started with.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for clarifying that. Now let's focus on building your sphere of influence, because that requires you to step out of your day-to-day activities. In other words, when we say working in your business versus working on your business. And it requires you to interact with other people who can either become clients or to refer them to you. So I'm curious about what kinds of networking in your local area do you find successful to build your sphere of influence? Let's start there.
Yeah, that's a very important point, because one of my concerns in my experience in real estate and in working with so many foreign buyers, because most of our clientele, I would say 80 to 90% is made of foreign buyers, is seeing that buyers don't come accompanied by their realtor of trust. So I've seen many cases where buyers fall in the hands of people who are not professional. They lose a lot of time in the property search, or they end up in the hands of an attorney who is not highly qualified. So I think it is very important to reinforce the need of building the referral network. We do it in a way that we establish very personalized. We try to do that, to establish very personalized relationships with our network, internal network, by using the newsletter a lot in order to be in constant contact with our local network, in order to give them alerts of what's going on, what's new in the market in our company, what new training sessions we are putting together. Sometimes with something that can be used for everybody, so we share with everybody through the newsletter. And I think also with the international network, we do exactly the same. We keep a different contact list for the international network, and we try to be there, not like every week, but whenever we contact them through the newsletter, we try to be, we come to them with something useful, something that they find very useful in order for them to understand our market. And I think that's the key, in order to be there for them whenever they need us, and so that they remember us.
And I imagine that your local networking also involves staying in touch with those attorneys and other types of professionals that may end up with those clients that are coming in need of real estate.
Totally. I mean, our we call it our 360 solution. Is made of attorneys, engineers, architects, landscapers, professional designers. We have the capacity to even deliver. Like, for example, we just sold a penthouse to a couple from Munich. They haven't even come to the country. They haven't ever been in Costa Rica. They just fell in love with the country by everything they have heard. But we are delivering that apartment when they come in August, even with forks and tablecloths and everything will be, even candles. I mean, everything will be there for them. So we try to provide this 360 solution to this type of buyers who are very particular. They're very demanding, highly demanding of a first-class service. So our 360 solution includes only the best of the best in our network of professionals. Like I said, the attorneys, the engineers, and all of them. A very exclusive network.
That sounds like absolutely concierge level service.
It is.
Really is appealing to those high end buyers, especially those that are coming to you sight unseen and putting the trust in you that everything is going to be just as they expect. That's fantastic.
And we see them, we see to them as family. I mean, we think we are a big family providing a service to people who are coming to Costa Rica to live a life experience. And we want them to have the best life experience when they come. So that's why the beginning of that experience should be immaculate.
That's great. Yali, tell us about what kinds of charitable activities that you're involved in.
Yes, each year we try to pick something very special so that we do come to serve the needs of different charitable activities. And this year we picked the Symphonic Orchestra of the University of Costa Rica. They have a program where they want to bring the orchestra to the people. So people who will never have a chance to go to the National Theater, who will never have a chance to buy a ticket to go to see them, and the orchestra wants to come to them, to the public parks. They want to come to the cathedrals, to the churches, I mean, to the little towns where they will never expect to have an orchestra of this caliber to come to them. So we are helping their fundraising program, actually, and we are reaching out to our very, very high net worth individuals in our contact list in order to gather donations for the orchestra. And these donations are discounted from taxes. They have a special code. So the code can be used in Costa Rica and can be used in any other country for accounting purposes and for tax reports. So I think that has been a real challenge because seeing the faces of these children and families when they go to listen to the orchestra and the love that the orchestra puts in each one of these events is just something that doesn't have a price. So I think we're very excited this year by doing this, something totally different from what we used to do.
Well, I can hear the passion in your voice and I can see it in the smile on your face.
Yeah.
So I know that that's something that is meaningful to you. And the idea that it's also a way to connect with your high net worth individuals in terms of the funding and also to educate them about international tax credits and benefits.
Yes.
That really is kind of a threefold result of doing something that is truly a good deed. So
yeah, we even found a university in California who wants to donate some instruments. So they could even, do another level, which is teaching these children to play the violin and other things with these instruments that are going to be a donation for the university.
That's wonderful. I look forward to hearing more about how that develops because it really can be a cross-cultural opportunity.
Definitely.
So you mentioned that the lion's share of your business comes from out of the area, out of the country even.
Yes.
And so your website features a number of memberships that includes the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing. You've been involved with leading real estate companies of the world. You've served as director for Who's Who in Luxury Real Estate. And I see that you're an exclusive member of Lux Places International Realty, a Prestige MLS member, and you're also a BNI member, which I think many in the audience will recognize and possibly be surprised that that's international. So
I think BNI is the most amazing referral network. I think that has been the one who has proven to us to be incredibly helpful in
Very
terms of
interesting.
referrals.
So, am I correct in recalling that that stands for Business Network International?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, great, great. So that is certainly a way to connect with other professionals that can be of value to you and also to your clients.
Exactly.
So I'm curious about what kinds of industry networking do you find most valuable in building referral relationships?
Well, I will say that being a member of the institute has been valuable. Um, for many reasons. The training sessions, the sharing through the different emails that we get every week, where we can share experiences privately with all the members and learn from them also. I think that's a very good way of building up our network, because it gives us the opportunity to go on a one-to-one each week with somebody that we can pick at any time. So I think the value of networking is this one-on-one experience. This is exactly what BNA does. So I think that the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing is in that direction also, opening the opportunity of doing these one-on-one experiences with anybody. I mean, we can just pick with whom we want to talk this week and just make that meeting happen. And then we don't know, maybe that will turn into business someday in some way as a referral. We don't know, but we have to make it work. If we don't give that step of going and asking for a meeting, a personal meeting, getting to know that person, it will never happen. So the value of referral network is making it happen.
I think you're so right. In anything, it's all about what you put into it. And I'm so thrilled to hear that you're utilizing the Institute network to make those one-on-one connections. In fact, that's what got us here today. You were responding
Yes.
to one of the podcast recordings.
Yes.
And for our audience that may not be familiar with the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing, our members have access to a members only platform that's independent of any other social media platform. And while there are group discussions in a variety of different topics, there is the ability for members to connect one on one. And that makes me think of the global networking that I've found successful for decades starts with an audience of a larger group where you make individual connections that last for quite some time. So I'm most pleased to hear you talking about that. So let me ask you, knowing that so few of the high-end clients that you encounter are coming by referral of their trusted local real estate professional, how can agents in the US or other parts of the world learn more about sending referral business outside of their home country, whether it's to Costa Rica or other destination markets? Where should someone start?
I think it starts with a very basic question that you can do just once a year. Where did you go on vacation this year? Because most of our clients, yes, most of our clients come to Costa Rica on vacation the first time. You know, that story that I told you about the couple from Tampa? They came to Costa Rica on vacation over a period of 8 years until they decided to buy a house. So where did you go in vacation this year? I mean, the world is totally globalized. The technology gives us a chance to be anywhere at any time. So I think asking that question will definitely open opportunities of knowing the interests of our clients and the possibility that they might want to buy a house in Hawaii, in Los Cabos, in Costa Rica, maybe in Europe, maybe Croatia, who knows? But just asking that question once a year will definitely open the opportunity for doing a little bit of researching for your clients.
I think that is so valuable that it bears repeating again. So simple. The question, where did you go on vacation this year? What an amazing opportunity to turn just a simple question into the potential for a referral to help them purchase a secondary home. So,
And
wow.
if you keep track of the answer, you will find a trend. and a pet. And then you
That's
will have an
fantastic.
opportunity for doing some business there. Maybe, you never know.
And then in order to make connections with real estate professionals in those countries, what kind of resources would someone have to get started? Certainly the Institute for Luxury Home
I
Marketing.
think so, yes. It
And
has to be through your network. It has to be through the network because how can you send your most trusted clients to anybody that you don't know? If you are going to send somebody, like for example, luxury places, if I'm going to send somebody to another place, I will look into luxury places because this is a network for boutique luxury firms around the world. I will look into the Institute of Luxury Home Marketing and see which members are in the location. We just sent a referral to somebody in Miami, for example, because one of our clients wanted to buy an apartment there. So we have to look for somebody that we can trust, that has proven to be professional. If they are members of our network, and the network is a professional network, this person is also a professional because if not, they will not be looking to be members of this kind of networks. And to be accepted into the network requires another step. So that gives a little bit of confidence to whom we send our clients.
now I know that when my mother and I first started exploring Costa Rica as a destination that our clients were interested in, we actually visited the country, and that's where we met you for the first time, and we also explored other parts of the country. Is that something that you would recommend for people if they're seeing a trend of their clients being interested in another destination? Is to go there and make the in-person connection?
I think so, and especially for high-end clients, if you walk the extra mile, the client will definitely see a difference in your service. Because we've had clients who come to Costa Rica, even stars, movie stars like Mel Gibson. We showed him property in Malpais several years ago, and we were surprised to see that. He didn't come with an expert behind him, giving him the necessary advice for what he was doing and where he was investing. And he has been, he bought several properties in the country already. But Susan Sarandon, for example, we met her in Dominican. She was all by herself. I don't think she was getting the right advice. So we have this kind of clients for whom the broker or the agent should walk the extra mile because they have this purchase capacity where you will definitely want to give them the best service.
Wow. And whether it's celebrities or simply A-list or ordinary clients, the idea.
Exactly. This client from Tampa, he was a director of surgery in one of the most important hospitals of Tampa. And he ended up buying a $1.5 million home. I think any agent will have come to Costa Rica to do the research for him for a commission like that, because we normally pay the 25% referral, but if the agent walks the extra mile and comes to the country, we are happy to go 50-50.
Wow.
Because at least he knows what he's talking about and he can advise his client and help him make a good decision.
Wow. And you think about that, whether it's internationally or even within a real estate professional's home country, the number of times that we miss the opportunity to find out where our clients are thinking about purchasing other properties, not just their primary residence, but how many times we miss the opportunity not only to generate the referral income, which of course is nice, but what a way to solidify a relationship for life in being able to provide them that level of service. So I encourage everyone who's listening, those real estate professionals who are taking the time to really, as Yali says, go the extra mile, walk the extra mile, really have an opportunity to build a loyalty and a clientele for life. So you mentioned earlier that that Costa Rica has a number of corporate appeals. And I noticed that one success that you note in particular was handling a 50-hectare farm sale to Intel Corporation that established its Latin American regional headquarters. So, how have you been able to build relationships with companies like that to attract them to Costa Rica?
Well, I think the Intel case is even a case in Harvard University already, the case of a study, because it changed the vision of the country. I mean, we used to be an agricultural economy, an economy based on agriculture and tourism. And then after Intel, we turned into technology and medical and others. And the country has been able to be in the eyes of these important multinational companies since then. Just with Intel, 75 other companies came to Costa Rica, just providing services around Intel. So can you imagine the enormous quantity of business that one of these companies brings to the real estate industry? It is amazing. It is just a multiplying effect. So it is just natural. I mean, the companies will look for us to provide them with additional service because they know we will help them all the way.
And so that brings me to the idea of visibility. Because in those cases, it's not necessarily having a relationship with the human resources department, but it's about being visible on a global scale. And I know that you engage in quite a bit of print and digital advertising that's global. Do you find that effective in finding buyers for particular properties or for generating general interest in your area or in coming across the radar screen for those corporate executives that are thinking of coming to Costa Rica? How does that work for you?
I think we used to do a lot of print advertising, but for some reason, I don't know why, I think the web has become the number one. I mean, the children, when they are born, they already do this. I mean, there's technology is everywhere, and it is so easy to reach the target by preferences and interests and professions and ages, and I mean everything. The big data is already there. So I think there is so much opportunity for the real estate industry to target the clientele through the digital marketing. That maybe for that reason, print marketing is not that effective anymore. But it is good for you to keep your branding, in the eyes of the audience. I think the two of them have to be balanced in some way.
Excellent. That's a good point. That's a very good point. So for the audience, I have to share that that I met Yali in person a number of years ago, and we have visited personally. And one of the things that we discovered in common was a family connection. I've already mentioned that she works with her daughter Andrea, just as I work with my mother Sharon. And that leads me back to the question about multi-generational. I'm curious to know, how is Andrea either following in your footsteps to use the same techniques for building the sphere of influence, or how is she focused on creating a new pipeline, if you will, of connections to reach those newer buyers and sellers?
I think she's like my copy paste, but yeah, because she's younger and she has this energy, she's being able to make a very quick connections with these younger buyers that come from different parts of the world and that are ready to jump into making decisions. And she just puts a lot of calmness into the process. Okay, no, let's go slowly. Let's do this step by step. She's a very good advisor, and she's able to put together the 360 solution in a way that I could never done it. I mean, it's just so natural in her, and I think that's her main asset right now. and the clients feel so comfortable, and they feel in good hands with her.
That's good, because sometimes that's different or more difficult with a multi-generational situation. So that sense of connection easily with a younger buyer is really admirable.
Yes, exactly.
So as we finish our time together for today, I'm curious if you have any other tips or parting words that you'd like to share with the audience about the importance of building their sphere of influence.
Well, I will say I always tell our agents concentrate in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 10 things that you will do different this year. I mean, there are so many things that take our minds and our priorities every day. So we lose perspective of where we are going. If you have a list of 10 and you are totally focused on those 10, I mean, you will definitely reach your purpose at the end of the year. If you include this year building up your referral network, you're going to get there. I mean, just look for 10 people in the different markets of your favorite clients, of your top level clients, the different places they have gone on vacation over the last couple of years or 3 or 4 or 5 years, and you will definitely find some business there. It's not complicated. It is very easy to do.
That's wonderful.
It's just establishing contact and personal relationships with people all over the world. I mean, it's so easy today. We are just doing it right now.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. Kelly, I'm so pleased you were able to join us today. And to the audience, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of A State of Mind, the art of selling luxury real estate. If you're interested in learning more about the Institute, you can find more at luxuryhomemarketing.com. If you like what you just heard, please share with a friend. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast.